Hey, elementary crew, welcome back. I hope you've had a great holiday and that you had a great new year. As we get started on curriculum work for the day, we are going to spend some time in science standards right away. One of the things that we recognize, we have two tasks, and one of the things we recognize is that we need to work on what are the next generation science standards, the new 2019 science standards. What are our essential learning outcomes that we recognize that are most important to be taught? And then, or for kids to understand. And then we also have to say, what should our report cards reflect of what we're teaching? And those two things we know because of the way that mystery science works for K-5, those two things might be very different. And we're going to take the next step later to say, where is the overlap or what does that look like? But for today, we're just going to identify those two things, okay? So the tasks you have first is the identifying the essential learning outcomes. So you can see here the essential, I'm going to bring you up to a document that's actually right here. And you're going to identify the science standards based on the next generation science standards that I will link into the document I just showed you. In 2009, you did this, or with the 2009 standards, you did this, and you did that work with me. And you can see what kindergarten has, first grade, second grade, and these are the things that are probably still on your report card or something similar are still on your report card, okay? So you can see what that looked like then. And you're going to actually put in on the 2019 standards, if you look at the bottom of this document that I'm sharing with you, you're going to put in what those 2019 standards are saying. These are not the curriculum of materials that you're teaching. These are what the standards are saying. Then after you do that task, you're going to go to actually, before we go there, I'm just going to show you how are you going to know what essential learning outcomes are and how do you decide that? That first piece, the ELO identification process that we have adopted as a district is right here. And so I've shared that in the document with you. And so you can see this is the ELO process. There are some really big questions you ask. It is decide what your students need for success this year for the leverage, or it's leverage, readiness, and endurance. And so what do the students need this year? What will the students need to prepare them for next year? And what will they need in life and moving forward? Okay. There is always that question of, well, what is the state test telling me is most important? And right now, we do not have a state test based on these standards. So as you know, essential learning outcomes are continually evolving and they will continue to evolve, but we're going to do our very best on these three questions. So you're going to look through just this document to help lead you through how do I determine an essential learning outcome. You have a day 1 plan and you have a day 2 plan. The day 2, we're not as worried about. That can be PLC work as we go. And day 2 is really like if I'm doing my whole curriculum, all of my math, science, English, all of that, that could take a multiple days. We're going to give you, I know, an hour of time to kind of review and say what are our most essential outcomes as we get started with science. Okay. Task 1. Task 2. You are going to identify back on this sheet what as a report card, what am I teaching that, how am I going to report that? Okay. So just like how you did in science standards, you identified the most essential things in 2009, and then you put those on your report card. You're going to now go, what's most essential that I'm teaching? And for many of you, you have limited units. And so you might say, using one of those units, you're going to take what that main idea is, and you're going to put that as one of the things you'll report on through the year that students understand the life cycle or whatever that is, however that looks. And so you're going to put that by grade level. I'm not requiring everyone to be filled out, or maybe you have more things to report on. I just put your grade levels in here, and so you knew where to kind of put in that information of report cards. This is not your final time on this document. You can go back to this document and edit, and we will plan for you to go back sometime during your PLC time that Scott and I will direct you to do before we send it off to be reflective of report cards as we roll into next year. But this is to start that process. Okay. All right. I'm sorry this video is getting really long, but the next piece of this is we had planned for you to connect with Morris and have some conversations, some Google Meets with teachers, just talking about math and about how things are going there. They have a year of big ideas in. We had some sample questions and ideas that you could bounce off of them and just have some more further conversation with somebody who's already taught big ideas. We are going away from that tomorrow due to weather. However, that doesn't mean we're going away from that for good. We will work on setting that up later as we are able to with our schedule. What I do want you to have some conversation about is these things. What's going well? Where are you struggling? What goals do you have for yourself in math as you go forward? Hopefully, there's a little bit of planning time that you have. There are some training options that Big Ideas has shared with me that are some webinars that you can certainly take a peek at. So those are the two really big things from 9:30 to 11:30 for you to do. After that, at 11:30, I'm going to get on and we're going to do some curriculum organization things that need to take place. So that we can have, as a whole system, we can put all of our curriculum together. And it actually brings back some of the work that we've done last year and the year prior to really put it all together into this is what Minnewaska's curriculum as a K-12 system looks like. It is pretty exciting. If you live in the curriculum world, for the rest of you, you might think I'm nuts, but nothing new there. All right. I hope you guys have a great day. And if you need anything, certainly shoot me a text. I'm going to be with 712 for the 2 hours, but I will be in touch with you if needed. Take care. Bye.